To paraphrase a very well-known text, the SRA gives and the SRA taketh away. For an explanation, stay tuned, but only after the jingle.
If you wanna be solicitors, why don't you come and visit us at SQETV?
So the SRA gives and the SRA taketh away. What have they given us today? They've given us the introduction of a fund to help support candidates from socially mobile disadvantaged backgrounds. Great news. What have the SRA taken away? More money, I'm afraid. They've increased the fees for the SQE assessments yet again. For more details, stay tuned.
SQETV.
The SRA has announced yet another increase in the SQE exam fees. Here are the details. The SQE1 charges are going up to £1,934, that's 2.4% rise, and SQE2 is going up to £2,974, that's a 2.5% rise. And these fee increases will start with SQE2 in October 2025. So what does this mean? Well, it means that the cost for a candidate passing first time is now just shy of £5,000. Ouch! But with SQE1 pass rates still flirting around 50%, and resit pass rates being 36 and 30% for each of the SQE1 papers. Double ouch! The average SQE exam bill for a middling but eventually successful SQE candidate is now going to be approaching £10,000, and that includes resits, and it's before you pay anything for a course. Hey skewers, what do you think?
SQETV.
This is the third annual increase of SQE exam fees at the rate of inflation, and that probably means that the SRA is committed contractually to some sort of RPI-linked increase with Kaplan. And you might think it's at the rate of inflation, and that's fair enough, but here's my pushback on why the SRA really should have taken a much harder line originally, and when tenders are invited after Kaplan's contract expires, they should look again closely at the whole fee structure. Well, firstly, Kaplan and the SRA are now making SQE super profit, especially for SQE1, because of the record number of sitters, especially in January 2025, the numbers of which will be announced very shortly. This has meant that Kaplan have enjoyed significant economies of scale. Indeed, there are 66 million reasons for this. That's the projected fee income for the SQE in 2025. After all, once you take into account the relatively small cost of a seat at a Pearson VUE test centre, the cost of running the SQE1 multiple choice assessments is broadly the same whether you've got 1,000, 5,000 or 10,000 sitters. And there's also growing evidence that more candidates from socially mobile backgrounds are now delaying the start of their SQE journey, whereas their more privileged peers with wealthier parents, they're jumping straight in after their LLB or law conversion course. And a proportion of those from socially mobile backgrounds who take a break in their legal education will never get to continue their law journey. And therefore the profession risks losing a significant number of these people from socially mobile backgrounds, and this continues to be the case until the fee structure is reformed. And for those who take a gamble of undertaking paid work alongside a full-time SQE course, the price rise simply now means that they need to work more hours to find the fees to sit the SQE, and that obviously compromises their preparation time.
SQETV.
Now, the SRA go to great lengths to say there's no evidence of any discrimination in their individual assessment reports. But I'm afraid an inevitable consequence of an excessive fee structure is that it discriminates in favour of the wealthy at the expense of the disadvantaged. And if that's not discrimination, I don't know what is. Rather curiously, on the same day that these price rises were published, the SRA also announced the introduction of the Access and Reinvestment Fund. And this is going to help disadvantaged students with their SQE assessment fees, which of course we would welcome here on SQE TV. See the link below. Indeed, we at SQE TV have been instrumental in a campaign to accelerate the introduction of the fund, on which we've got a lot to say. Look out for our later videos on this. It's a start, it's long overdue, but there's still a long way to go.
SQETV.
So please do give this video a like if you agree with our continuing commitment to social mobility when it comes to the SQE to make it more accessible. Watch this space for more news. And as we always say, when we finish an SQE TV video, it's now time for the jingle.
If you wanna be